Now we want to continue, close this out, and we're gonna get into the lesson on the significance of the meat offering, because it's really a lot. So in Numbers 25, we're gonna start at verse 10, and Yah spoke to Moshe saying, Phinehas, right? Phinehas, did I say that right? The son of Eleazar, the son of Aharon the priest, have turned my wrath away from the children of Yasharal while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consume not the children of Yasharal in my jealousy. All right. And let's see. Can we get a reference to what really was going on? Well, you got to read the verses before that. Okay, Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. Right? This is the interesting thing, right? The children of Israel committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. They called the people unto the sacrifices of their deities, and the people did eat and bow down to their deities, right? And Yasharal joined himself to Baal Peor, and the anger of Yah was kindled against Yasharal. And Yah said to Moshe, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before Yah against the sun, that the fierce anger of Yah may be turned away from Yasharal. Moshe said unto the judges of Yasharal, slay you everyone his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. And behold, one of the children of Yasharal came and brought unto him his brother, a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moshe. Interesting thing with that is, Moshe had a wife who was Ethiopian, but the Ethiopian, we're going to see in this lesson, I'll probably cover it, but basically we're Midianites. Okay. And behold, one of the children of Yasharal came and brought unto his brother and the Midianitish woman in the sight of Moshe, and the sight of the congregation of the children of Yasharal, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aharon the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. He went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman, through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Yasharal, and those that died in the plague were 24,000. So you got 24,000 people that died in the plague. Why? Because they played the whore with the Moabites? Moabites. Now, verse 10. Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aharon, priest, have turned my wrath away from the children of Yasharal, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consume not the children of Yasharal in my jealousy. Wherefore say, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace. Oh, there go your covenant of peace right there. Covenant of peace, not covenant of grace. And covenant of peace has to do with obedience to Yah, right? Let's continue. And he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his Elohim, and made an atonement for the children of Yasharal. Now the name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianite woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a chief house among the Simonites. And the name of the Midianite woman was slain was Cosby, or Cosby. Bill Cosby? No, I'm kidding. The daughter of Zur, he was head over a people and the chief of the house of Midian. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, vex the Midianites and smite them. For they vex you with their wiles, wherewith they have beguiled you in the manner of Peor, and in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of the prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. Right? So the priesthood were to be clean, free. That connects to Revelation when he says that he's looking for men that have not been defiled with women. It's not talking about physical defilement as far as to the human relations. He's talking about the defilement of women who were serving other deities, right? So that's the 144,000, right? Could you be in that number? Only time will tell, right? Now, let's one more place here, and let's go to Nehemiah, Nehemiah. I kind of mentioned that, so let's just kind of go there real quick. Just one verse here. Nehemiah chapter 13. And I pray for y'all are going to watch the video over again. You're taking notes because a lot of this stuff is not taught. So to comprehend the priesthood, we got to see what was required and what happened, right? As the kids say, what had happened. When you see what had happened, then you can comprehend where we are today and what is necessary for us, right, to do. Okay. 86 years old, huh? 86 years young. Hallelujah. For the to answer the question, hold on a second. I'm a little tied up here. To answer the question, Yah is not a respecter of persons. Anybody teaching anything different don't know Yah and don't know Yah's word. So we just covered it already. It doesn't matter whether you're Sicilian, whether you are Chinese, whether you're Japanese, because Japanese and Chinese is not Moab and Ammon. That's the craziest doctrine I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay. So we're going to read Nehemiah, Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 29. I believe that's what I want. Let's see. Now, why do I have this verse? I don't know. Let's read it. 13 and 29. Remember them, O my Yah, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and the Levites. Okay. I don't know why I had that verse in there. I think it was something in this whole chapter that prompted me to. Okay. I'm not going to go into that. That's too much. So just scratch that from the record. Now, we'll close with this, and then we're going to get into the significance of the meat offering, right? So Hebrews 7, we're showing you all that to see that the priesthood, only sons of Aharon first and then Levi, because Israel, the people that the Most High called, right, who he chose to be priesthood, forfeited, and so therefore it had to be a new covenant established to help Israel. When Israel was supposed to be established priests to help the nations. That's why the world's buck wild now, because the people who's supposed to be priests in the nations needed priests for them, and now we're in a big mess because we went into captivity, and the people we were supposed to priests have become a priest to us, And they have taught us the doctrine of Baal Peor. See how that works now? Now, when Yeshua came in the flesh through 42 generations, he came back to do what? To bring things back to the covenant that the Most High made. Right? And now let's go to Hebrews 7 and 5. Right? So go to Hebrews 7, chapter 5, as we bring the priesthood to the close, and we're going to progress into our meat offering. So I say Hebrews chapter 7, right? And we're going to start at verse 1. All right, Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 1. For this Melchisedec, king of Shalom, priest of the Most High, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him. So you got to remember that Melchisedec had the law, statutes, and commandments. He was a priest in the land called Shalom. Right? Just for the sake of it, let's just pull it up. Okay. Let's look at the Strong's numbers. And Salem, it says Hebrew origin, right? Shalem, right? Peaceful, Shalem. So that was the name of the city. The city was called Shalem, the peaceful place, right? So Melchisedec, or as people say it in English, Melchisedec. I never really like that pronunciation, but for those of you that's used to that, king of Shalem, priest of the Most High Yah. Oh, so he was a priest. Now stop for 1 second, one quick second. How could he be a priest of Yah and Moses wasn't even born? Because the priesthood didn't start with Moses. You see how this works? So to get us back to the priesthood that the Most High chose to pass on to Abraham's son Isaac, to Isaac's sons Yaakov, to the nation, because Yah ultimately wanted a nation of priests, not individual priests. Right? Since he wanted a nation of priests, the individual priests wouldn't work because there was too many people in the world that needed priests, right? All right. We're going to say some stuff as we get into this meat offering. All right. Now let's continue. So he was a priest of the Most High Yah who met Abram returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom Abram gave a 10th part of all, first being an interpretation, king of righteousness, which is what? Melchisedec. That's what it is. King Melchisedec. Sadak is the Hebrew word for righteousness. You know, you say Yahweh Sitkanu, right? Sadak. Sadak is a variation of Sidkanu, which means righteous, right? So the king Melchisedec, and after that also Malak Shalom, which is what? The king of peace. So he brought it all together. Just like we just told you that Salem, as they have there, Salem is kind of like one of them witchcraft towns, but it's called Shalem or Shalom, right? It says without father, right? Without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of Yah, abideth a priest continually. See that? Why? Because What's mistaken in that is that people have used this verse to say, I was talking about the Messiah because he didn't have a father or mother. That's not what that's saying. That's saying that this order of priesthood didn't have a father or mother or a descendant, right? Okay? But was to be a perpetual or a continual priesthood, right? All right? Now let's continue to read that so we can make sense out of it, all right? Now consider how great this man was, to whom even the patriarch Abraham gave a tenth of his spoils. And verily they that are of the sons of Levi, who received the office of priesthood, which we just covered, right, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to Torah, that is, of their brethren, though they come out of the loins of Abraham, right? But he whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham. So the priesthood was before Abraham. That's all that's saying. Let's continue. And he said, whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promise. Oh, so the priesthood was an initial precept of Yah for humanity. Who was the first priest? Adam. And so Adam failed the test, and so that's where the sacrifices started. Sacrificial system didn't start under Moses. It started under Adam. And Adam taught his sons how to offer sacrifices, right? If you're interested and you read the book of Enoch, some people don't believe it's an authentic book. That's fine. I do. I believe it's authentic. No book is fallible, but I do believe that the feast days were kept in heaven, just in all this the shadow that we have embraced in this side of eternity, I should say, mirror that which is in heaven. Right? Let's continue. Now consider how great this man was. I read that part already. Okay. But he whose sin is not counted from them received the tithes of Abraham and blessed him that had the promises. And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. Right. And here men that die receive tithes, but there he received them, of whom it is witnessed that he liveth. And as I may say, Levi also, who received tithes, paid tithes in Abraham. Right. For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchisedec met him. All right, now let's continue. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, that's what you got to get. The Levitical priesthood was instituted after the rejecting of the priesthood that was after, as we read, the order of Melchisedec, which is what? The king of righteousness would mean what? What the Most High said in Exodus 19. If you obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, I will make you a Malak. Right? Sadak. You can't get around that. No kind of way. That's the order that the Most High is trying to bring us back to where we are kings of righteousness. That we have mastered obeying Yah. If somebody comes at us and try to get us to disobey Yah, we say, we don't do that here. We obey Yah, abide Yah.